Line on demand.
Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts St. Vincent Limited.
Jump in the line this carnival season with Quartz Ready Cash. Get a loan of up to $20,000 to help you get ready for the road. Plus, with any loan of $5,000 or more, we will pay your first installment. Also, you pay zero deposit and you get cash in hand in as little as 24 hours. There's nothing to pay for 60 days and we have the most flexible payment terms. Don't miss the vibes this carnival. Call us at 456-1325 for more information or visit www.readyfinancecaribbean.com. Conditions apply. Quartz Ready Cash. Ready when you are.
Welcome back to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts St. Vincent Limited. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene, Minister of Agriculture Subotu Caesar is giving commendation to local agro-processors. Minister Caesar, during a recent appearance on Star Radio, expressed that he sees no need for any Vincentian to buy plantain chips not made in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, since the ones produced here are of such high quality. We hear more from the Agriculture Minister.
I must commend many of the agro-processors in St. Vincent and the Grenadines because we have improved significantly when it comes to packaging. I don't think that there is a need for any Vincentian to buy any imported plantain chips. And I'm saying that because when I go to the supermarket, when I go to the gas station, when I go to football and I see persons selling plantain chips, the quality of this St. Vincent and the Grenadines plantain chips, it's excellent. It can go on the international market.
Minister Caesar, while calling on Vincentians to support local products, made a special appeal to visitors to the country who decide to try these products to also become agents for them.
I want for persons when you go to the supermarkets to buy the locally produced value-added items. And for the visitors who are here for Carnival, when you're going back, look at some of the locally produced products, take them back to Brooklyn, take them back to London, to Toronto, to Montreal, and don't just take them back and use them, and when they finish, you discard the bottle. But try to see if you can become an agent for these products, because we will produce the raw material, we would add the value here, would assist the stakeholders to get over the hurdle to send away these commodities.
That was the Minister of Agriculture, Subotu Caesar. Police have launched an investigation into the shooting death of 33-year-old Kingston Park resident Cassian Stapleton that occurred on Saturday, June 18th. According to an official release from the Public Relations and Complaints Department, Stapleton was sitting at a shed not far from his home when some unknown assailant shot him. He reportedly received several gunshot wounds to his body and was later pronounced dead at the scene by the district medical officer. Police say the motive surrounding the shooting death of Cassian Stapleton is unknown at the moment. A post-mortem examination is expected to be carried out on the body to ascertain the exact cause of death. Persons with information that can assist with police investigations are asked to contact Assistant Commissioner in charge of crimes at 457-1211 or the officer in charge of the Criminal Investigations Department at 456-1810 or any police station or police officer you are comfortable with. All information will be dealt with confidentially. While discussing the various challenges being faced in relation to the repair of houses damaged by the explosive eruptions of La Soufrière in April of 2021, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said the current global lumber shortage is one of those challenges. Prime Minister Gonsalves said that this shortage has created a difficulty in sourcing lumber. We hear more from the Prime Minister.
The real challenge is that the initial assessment was done where you had about 700 houses, the global number, to be addressed, repaired and to build. But when you go on the site, when you go on the ground, you'll find additional homes. Sometimes what may be assessed as a particular level to do repairs is much higher, because if you're thinking you can only change part of the roof, when you go there, it's not only all the galvanized you have to change, but you have to change all the lumber. But we are having a difficulty because there's a shortage globally and certainly in the region coming to us of the 5/8 plywood, 5/8 plywood, treated plywood, the 1x2x14, 1x2x16, pieces of lumber. We're having difficulty sourcing. That's creating some challenges for us in some of our work. But we are working steadily in that regard.
That was the Prime Minister, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. On to news in the region. Guyanese Vice President Dr. Barrett Jagdeo has threatened to sue Chinese businessman Suzy Rong for making claims of corruption against him. Jagdeo maintains that his hands are clean and he does not accept bribes to facilitate the award of government contracts. The vice president's threat of a lawsuit follows a Vice News probe in which Su made the claims. So I am going to take legal action against him because he is damaging my reputation, and in doing so, and also he will no longer, as I said in the past when you had asked me about it, he will no longer be a tenant, Jagdeo said. In the report titled Guyana for Sale, Vice News journalist Isabel Young investigated how Chinese businessmen and state companies allegedly pay bribes to local politicians to receive large government contracts. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Timothy Harris, has named 8 candidates to contest the general election in St. Kitts and Nevis, even though he has not yet announced a date for the poll that has been forced upon him following the collapse of his coalition Team Unity government. Harris is leading the People's Labour Party (PLP) that won 2 seats in the June 2002 general election as part of the 3-party coalition that included the People's Action Movement (PAM) and the Nevis-based Concerned Citizens Movement (CCM). Harris was forced to dissolve Parliament on May 10th, paving the way for the general election after PAM and CCM legislators, accounting for 7 of the 9 seats in cabinet, had filed a motion of no confidence in the Prime Minister, who scuttled that move by firing the dissidents and indicating that he would announce a date for the polls within the stipulated 90-day period. Earlier this month, churches and non-governmental organizations wrote to Prime Minister Harris urging him to name a date for the general election. They warned also that a code of conduct should be implemented to ensure the society is not plunged into election-induced chaos as voters in the Twin Island Federation prepare to elect a new government. On the international scene, the European Union has pledged 600 million euros to help vulnerable nations weather a food security crisis worsened by Russia's war on Ukraine. The funds include 150 million euros in humanitarian assistance for African, Caribbean, and Pacific nations, and 350 million euros to boost sustainable food production in the long term. Russia's war of aggression is taking a heavy and senseless toll, not only on the Ukrainian population, but also those most vulnerable around the world, European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen said on Monday at an EU summit in Brussels. Russia is still blocking millions of tons of desperately needed grain, she added. To help our partners, we will mobilize an additional 600 million euros to avoid a food crisis and an economic bloc. Russia and Ukraine export nearly a third of the world's wheat and barley, more than 70% of its sunflower oil, and are big suppliers of corn. The war has prevented some 20 million tons of Ukrainian grain from getting to the Middle East, North Africa, and parts of Asia. And finally, in sports, Manchester United hopes to persuade Denmark midfielder Christian Eriksen to join them before the new season. It was thought the 30-year-old would prefer to remain in London after making a successful comeback with Brentford in the second half of last season. The Bees hoped Eriksen would stay on, while it was thought Tottenham Hotspur were also keen to resign him. However, a deal has not been agreed with either club, giving United the chance to make an offer for the free agent. Eriksen had cardiac arrest while playing at Euro 2020 last June, but was able to resume his career after being fitted with an implantable cardioverter defibrillator. This has been WEFM's Midday News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us again at 3 p.m. for WEFM's 3 p.m. news. WEFM's Midday News is brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts, St. Vincent Limited.
Jump in the line this carnival season with Quartz Ready Cash. Get a loan of up to $20,000 to help you get ready for the road. Plus, with any loan of $5,000 or more, we will pay your first installment. Also, you pay zero deposit and you get cash in hand in as little as 24 hours. There's nothing to pay for 60 days and we have the most flexible payment terms. Don't miss the vibes this carnival. Call us at 456-1325 for more information or visit www.readyfinancecaribbean.com. Conditions apply. Quartz Ready Cash. Ready when you are.
The flavor nice. It's locally